Prevention of sexual harassment of women at the workplace. In this video, we will identify and define sexual harassment and understand the prevention of sexual harassment of women at workplace under the POSH Act 2013. In society, there are often certain gender stereotypes that favor and empower one gender over the other. This leads to discrimination, bias and sexual harassment. Let's look at an example of sexual harassment at the workplace. Let's look at a situation. Reena is a bright young working professional. She was busy working when her manager Sanjay came over to discuss a new project. He suddenly leaned over her shoulder to open a file on her computer. He kept getting closer to her face while working on the computer. Reena felt really uncomfortable and nervous and did not like his behavior. What do you think Reena should do in this situation? Is this a form of sexual harassment? As the Supreme Court defines, sexual harassment includes unwelcome sexually determined behavior, whether direct or implied. It includes physical contact and advances, demand or request for sexual favors, sexually colored remarks, showing any kind of pornography, or any other unwelcome physical, verbal, non-verbal conduct of a sexual nature. This also includes a promise of preferential treatment and torment at the workplace, which in turn interferes with the women's work and makes it a hostile work environment. Humiliating treatment at the workplace is also likely to affect the health and safety of women. Sexual harassment can be categorized in two forms: quid pro quo and hostile work environment. Quid pro quo literally means this for that. In context of sexual harassment, it means attaching professional benefits with an employee's submission to sexual advances or requests made by their senior. For instance, a manager asking or suggesting a woman to go on a date with him and in return offering her a promotion or a bonus. Her refusal to comply with the request could lead to her demotion, a tarnished work record, or being subjected to difficult working conditions. The other form of sexual harassment is the hostile work environment. It involves conditions of work or behavior towards a female worker which makes it unbearable for her to be there. For instance, making jokes about a woman's weight, ethnicity or clothes, or spreading rumors about her. This could be mentally tormenting and creates a hostile working environment for that woman. If you are sexually harassed at your workplace, you must immediately report the incident to the management or the Human Resources Department and seek redressal under the Sexual Harassment of Women at the Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. Until the mid-1990s, the concept of sexual harassment at workplace was not recognized by Indian courts. It was the Bhavri Devi gang rape case that shook the Indian courts and led to the promulgation of the POSH Act. Bhavri Devi was a woman employed as a social worker in a village in Rajasthan. She was working to create awareness as well as report incidents of child marriages to the authorities. In 1992, she tried to prevent the child marriage of a 9-month-old girl, which enraged the villagers, who later gang raped her in order to take revenge. In 1997, Vishaka, conglomerate of women's organizations working in Rajasthan, along with 3 other women's organizations, filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court to bring the perpetrators to justice. For the first time, the Supreme Court defined sexual harassment at the workplace and promulgated measures to curb it by strongly advocating that a code of conduct be established in every workplace. Though often referred to as a set of guidelines or Vishaka guidelines, these were no less than a law passed by the Court of Law. It was only later that the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act came into effect on 9th December 2013. Sexual harassment can be prevented by providing a safe and professional environment at the workplace. The employees of the company should feel physically as well as mentally safe. They should never feel that they are being taken advantage of or are being exploited mentally, physically, or sexually. The benefits of preventing sexual harassment in the workplace include maintaining a healthy and engaged workforce. Employees who are harassed or witness harassment often experience both physical and mental health issues. It is important to think proactively about how the employer can cultivate a safe and respectful environment for all, whether through POSH training and keynote presentations or discuss with all employees. Establishing your team. Sexual harassment incidents could break a strong team, which in turn could lead to employees leaving the organization. When bad words spread about the organization, it becomes difficult to recruit valuable talent. Also, the lengthy onboarding process drains an organization of time, money, and resources. Therefore, it is important to build confidence in the team that they are physically and mentally safe in the organization. Avoiding penalties and litigation. Hefty penalties have been prescribed for employers for non-compliance with the provisions of the POSH Act. There are monetary penalties as well as severe penalties like cancellation of license or registration. Now that you know more about the POSH Act and its provisions, do you think Reena faced sexual harassment at the workplace? The answer is yes. It would have been best had Sanjay avoided such a situation to arise in the first place. He should have avoided leaning over Reena and should have asked her before using her laptop. He should have also maintained an arm's distance from her. As an employee, you must always voice concern towards any unwelcome behavior or gesture to prevent sexual harassment at the workplace. Remember, you are a valued employee, and it is every employer's responsibility to provide you with a safe and respectful work environment.